What if someone told you that the most feared man in NBA history couldn't jump high, run fast, or even dunk with flair? It sounds like a joke until you hear the name Larry Bird. This so-called unathletic white guy didn't just survive in the league, he rewrote his rules. With nothing but grit, wit, and a sniper-like jumper, he walked into the NBA and systematically dismantled it, one clutch shot at a time. Long before he was lighting up the NBA scoreboards, Larry Bird was just a quiet kid from a nowhere town called French Lick, Indiana, the kind of place where the biggest local attraction was a Dairy Queen, and the basketball court behind the school doubled as a battleground for bragging rights. Bird grew up in a poor family, 5 siblings, 1 bathroom, and a father who worked odd jobs and struggled with alcoholism. Life wasn't glamorous, it was just about getting by. Larry wasn't some prodigy dunking at the age of 12. He worked construction during the day and played pickup games at night, grinding away in creaky gymnasiums and dusty driveways. No flashy trainers, no hype, just a weary kid with a ridiculous work ethic and a jumper so smooth it looked mechanical. He enrolled at Indiana University, but dropped out after just 24 days. Too big, too loud, too far from home. Most people would have faded away. Larry transferred to Indiana State, a school that wasn't even a blip on the national radar. But then something crazy happened. He dragged them almost single-handedly to the 1979 NCAA championship game, setting up a showdown against a kid named Magic Johnson. That game became the most watched college basketball matchup in history. The nation saw Magic's charm, but they felt Larry's intensity. He didn't fit the superstar mold, but he was about to rewrite it. By the time Larry Bird entered the NBA draft in 1978, he was already building a legend, but with a twist. The Boston Celtics selected him with the 6th overall pick, fully aware that he decided to stay at Indiana State for 1 more year. Most teams wouldn't have waited, but Boston saw something worth gambling on. And when Bird finally joined the team in 1979, they didn't just get a rookie, they got a revolution. He signed a then unheard of rookie contract worth $3.25 million, making him the highest paid first-year player in any sport. Skeptics rolled their eyes. A slow-footed forward with no vertical and a college boy jumper? That's worth millions? But Bird didn't waste time proving them wrong. In the season before he arrived, Boston had gone a pitiful 29-53. With Bird in the lineup, they exploded to 61-21. It wasn't luck, it wasn't hype, it was pure basketball IQ. Larry had a sixth sense for the game, knew where the ball would be before he even got there, passed like a point guard, shot like a machine, and rebounded like a power forward. He wasn't just playing basketball, he was conducting it. He didn't need speed, height, or flair. What he had was vision, timing, and the cold-blooded confidence to run the floor like he owned it. Bird walked into the NBA with the audacity of someone who knew that he didn't have to be the best athlete, just the smartest player in the building. And night after night, he proved that that was more than enough. Larry Bird didn't just bring results, he brought a whole new style of domination. His game wasn't built on flash or flair, it was built on fundamentals, so sharp that they became weapons. Start with the shot. Bird had one of the most lethal mid-range games the league have ever seen, but he didn't stop there. He was pulling up from deep long before the three-point shot became fashionable. His release was quick, almost lazy looking, but it was deadly accurate. Give him an inch and he'd bury you. Give him a foot and you would be on the poster for all the wrong reasons. But Bird wasn't just a scorer. His passing was pure sorcery. No-look dimes, full-court bullets, bounce passes through traffic. Bird saw plays before they even existed. Some point guards couldn't match his vision. His assists weren't flashy for the sake of it. They were cold, calculated, and perfectly timed. On the boards, he wasn't supposed to be dominant, but night after night, he snagged double-digit rebounds, fighting off taller, stronger players with just timing and hustle. Larry Bird didn't rely on speed or flash, he relied on brains. Always in the right spot, reading the plays, talking trash with surgical precision. He'd tell you how he'd beat you, then do it. Come fourth quarter, he turned icy. Bird didn't just outplay opponents, he outsmarted and humiliated them. By the late 1970s, the NBA was in trouble. Attendance was down, TV ratings were worse, and the league was drowning in bad headlines, drug scandals, on-court brawls, and a lack of marketable stars. Games were even aired on tape delay. The NBA wasn't cool. It wasn't exciting. It was fading. Then came a rivalry so electric, it didn't just change basketball, it rescued it. Here is Larry Bird versus Magic Johnson. They had already faced off in the 1979 NCAA championship. The country kid from Indiana State versus the smiling showman from Michigan State. And what was the most watched college game ever? 5 years later, that tension spilled over into the pros. Bird with the Boston Celtics, Magic with the Los Angeles Lakers. It was white versus black, grit versus grace, East Coast versus West Coast, and the world couldn't look away. Their 1984 NBA Finals rematch was more than just a series. It was a cultural event. Bird's fierce, physical elbows out of style collided with Magic's smooth passing and fast break swagger. Every play felt personal, every possession a battle of identities. And when Bird's Celtics beat the Lakers in the 7 brutal games, it reignited a fire under the NBA that had long been flickering. The league exploded. Ratings soared, merchandise flew off the shelves. Kids across the country picked sides. Were you Team Bird or Team Magic? And it didn't stop there. Between the two of them, they appeared in every single NBA Finals of the 1980s. They weren't just stars. They were mythological figures locked in a decade-long war. And at the heart of the war was Larry Bird, an unassuming kid from French Lick, now carrying the hopes of a franchise and a league. He didn't just lift the Celtics back into relevance. He helped knoll the NBA out of the mud and into the spotlight. Without Larry and Magic, there might not be a modern NBA. Their rivalry didn't just save basketball, it made it a must-watch. By the mid-80s, Larry Bird was at the heart of the Celtics dynasty. 3 titles, 3 straight MVPs, and a relentless grit. He wasn't athletic, but he outworked, outsmarted, and out-toughed everyone. First in the gym, last to leave. Playing through the brutal injuries, Bird didn't fly. He dragged Boston to greatness. One dive, one shot, one unstoppable step at a time. Larry Bird didn't just dominate. He narrated your downfall. His trash talk wasn't just noise, it was calculated warfare. He called his shots, like telling Xavier McDaniel how and where he'd beat him, then did it. Who's coming in second tonight wasn't just arrogance, it was a warning. Bird humiliated opponents with precision, earned the respect from everyone, and backed every word with buckets. He didn't just win, he made sure you remembered who did it to you. By 1992, a chronic pain forced Larry Bird to retire after winning gold with the Dream Team. But he never left the game. He returned as a coach and executive of the year, the only MVP to earn all 3 titles. Bird didn't just fade, he evolved. Like always, he chose his exit with purpose. Just like his game, smart, sharp, and unforgettable. When Larry Bird retired, he didn't just leave behind trophies. He left a blueprint. He made smart basketball lethal, proved you didn't need to flash to dominate, and opened doors for players like Luka and Dirk. His rivalry with Magic revived the NBA, and in Boston, he is the Celtics. Not athletic, just inevitable. That's Bird's legacy.